Welcome back to the Why Stop Now podcast. We got Eyes over here. How you doing this week, Eyes?
Dude, I'm doing good. It was a good weekend watching Scotty win as I thought he would. Actually, that's all cap. That is all cap. That's all cap. That's a lie. I did not think he would win. I thought he would come in second. I thought he would have a good tournament. He's just had nothing but good tournaments. But he was down four starting Sunday. Being down four shots in golf on a Sunday, we're not saying you're definitely going to win it, but you probably should. Like you got a pretty decent lead. I'm talking to you, Robert McIntyre. He's a great golfer, by the way. He's had a phenomenal year. Almost won the U.S. Open, came in second to Spawn. Would have gone into the playoff, but Spawn drained that crazy putt.
Yeah,
So Robert McIntyre, no joke to the game of golf, but he blew the lead within 7 holes. Scheffler was tied for the lead,
that's
and then never looked back. And his caddy, who's not his original caddy, Ted Scott, who had some personal issues or something going on, so he had some other guy on the bag. Well, that guy won himself 360 grand just for a week's worth of walking with Scotty.
huh?
Not a bad side gig for the week.
No,
I don't know what he does for his other job. He might be a caddy, honestly, but I mean that makes more. I think he is a caddy, but he probably wishes he could stick with Scotty.
I mean realistically though, with on the topic of Scotty winning after that, it's like as soon as Scotty touches that first or second spot, and he gets in that grind, it's over with. If he gets into first at any point during the tournament, you're done.
Yeah, and you know what? The guys on the PGA Tour Live or ESPN Plus coverage before the main coverage came on CBS, they were talking and they were saying that once McIntyre found himself a shot behind Scheffler, he was now it was an uphill battle for him from there. Because like your Scheffler's in the lead, like yeah, we know the track records, and now he's putting
Yeah.
up stats that are Tiger esque, and we've kind of said a few times on the show that I've said that he's the next best thing we've seen since Tiger. He's better
Yeah.
than Rory.
Yeah.
Rory's had glimpses, but what we've seen just continuously from Scheffler has been, yeah, nothing we've seen since
Realistically,
his
anybody that's
40s.
currently playing is nowhere near as consistent or as dominating as Scotty is when he plays.
No, and there are people since Tiger that I thought had a chance. We got Spieth, couldn't do it.
Yeah,
We got Justin Thomas, no. We got Kepka had a good run. Now where is he? He is barely making it on the Live Tour.
yeah.
And then we've got Rom, who is doing well on the Live Tour, but he didn't even win a tournament this year on Live. Still was their player of the year, even though Joaquin Neiman won 5 times
Or
this year.
DeChambeau could have been Player of the Year.
Yeah. And
DeChambeau is everywhere with it, dude.
mm-hmm. But yeah, no. So I mean, DeChambeau is like the Live's only thing that they have right now. And at best it's second to Scotty. And that's
Hell
at
yeah.
best. So I do like the fact that DeChambeau is on the Ryder Cup team. They announced those 6 picks. That's very cool. But we're kind of going to pivot it from golf because, I mean, I'm just juiced up about the fact that football's starting, I mean, this weekend, really. So
We have
on
what, one
week
game on
zero,
Saturday?
yeah, it's a ranked game. I
It
don't
is a
even know
ranked
who's
game.
playing, but
I think
it's
it
an
was.
actual
When I
ranked.
checked, I think it was like Arkansas. Let me double check my facts before we dive into that.
Yeah, go ahead and get on what's that. But since we're getting into football, I mean, week one, we got all the games. First off, we got
I
Clips.
was completely incorrect. It's Iowa State and Kansas State.
Yeah, and what are the rankings
I don't.
there?
Blah blah blah. My bad. Iowa State's 22, Kansas State 17.
22 and
So
17.
not a
That's
highly ranked game, but a ranked game at that.
yeah, better than I think last year we started the season with Florida State,
Florida
which ended
State.
up being a disaster. So this is going to be, I'm definitely looking more to this than I was to last year's week 0 game. But the week 1 games are all going to eat. We've got Alabama, Florida State. We've got North Carolina, TCU. We've got the Tigers and the Tigers. A little bit of crosstalk there about the Death Valleys, too. A little bit of crosstalk about the Death Valleys because, Brian Kelly dropped a wild statement at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club the other night, I believe a week or two ago, whatever he
Yeah,
called Clemson's Death Valley Junior. And and so that got me thinking about things, and I was like, well, who really is what, and et cetera, et cetera. And we had talked about it a little bit before, but something I didn't know is that Presbyterian college coach back in the day in 1945 first referenced Clemson's Memorial Stadium as Death Valley due to how hot it was in that time of the year in the early time of the football season, playing in South Carolina.
yeah,
It's just hot as could be. And
yeah.
then they were getting their butts kicked every time too. And so he was like going up there to Death Valley. He referenced it, and the media went crazy with it. And here we are today. But LSU, on the other hand, one of the loudest stadiums in all of college football, don't get me wrong, but that's where the name came from. It actually was originated as Death Valley, DEAF. I did my fact checking on this, so don't nobody try me. And so Death Valley then, came became into Death Valley, but you know, never really mattered till now. It's mattered a few times before. There's when I was doing my fact checking, there's a few articles beforehand, but here we are, Tigers versus the Tigers.
At the real
Death
Death Valley.
at the OG Death Valley for sure, and arguably louder. They're about hand in hand,
Yeah, it is. And it's a big game, so
decibel level wise.
Clemson fans are going to show up to the big games always. It's going to be a packed house. It's
Yep, and
a packed
LSU
tailgate.
fans are known to travel too. So, not that they're going to show up in groves of people, but they're going to be out there for
They'll
sure.
be they'll be out there, but
They're
they
gonna
won't
be,
be out
it's
there
what
like
it's week 1,
yeah.
huge game. Yeah, LSU fans are going to be in Clemson, South Carolina. So I'll be looking to see them walking around Greenville.
Oh yeah,
Shoot,
they'll be in Greenville.
yeah, they're gonna be in Greenville. They're gonna be
That's
showing out in
where,
Greenville.
that's where they're going to stay. That's where they're going to
Yeah,
stay. That's exactly where they'll be sleeping.
there'll be some bold ones that'll
Oh yeah,
make that trip down 85. But what are the who's ranked what in that game? AP
we're
poll
above.
just came
I
out,
think
and
we're what 4?
Clemson's at 4,
I
and
think
LSU
LSU's
is
like
at
9.
9. Yes, and so here's my question to you, Cam. LSU, they're sitting ninth. That's cool and all. Brian Kelly, when he was at Notre Dame, he was a good coach or whatever. Then he comes to LSU, and he hadn't really done much since being at LSU. Notre Dame has done more since Brian Kelly has left and to come to LSU. Marcus Freeman's doing fine up there. And
Yeah,
we're looking at
he's
them as a play. Even though they had the bad loss last year to Northern Illinois, and I thought that was it. But then they fought themselves back into the playoffs, and then this year they're looking like they might be another playoff spot taker too, because the playoffs are bigger.
yeah they are.
So Brian Kelly, is this his year that he's got to make the playoffs? LSU fans, they're not going to sit around for another year and not make the playoffs.
Dude,
You think
I
he
think
gets fired if they
he
don't make the playoffs?
well, I got a few statements. One being I think that he's underestimating the power of Clemson. I think he thinks that he's going to come in and just walk over Clemson like it's going to be an easy game and we're overranked.
I don't know why he thinks that whenever he played Clemson, whenever at Clemson as Notre Dame's head coach and didn't fare too well.
Why he would think that, I couldn't tell you. But the way he's making it sound, that's what he thinks. It's all cool. It's all fun. But it's not going to be fun come game day. But I'm not going to say too much on that because that's extremely biased.
Right. Yeah. First off, don't come eat these words come game day if for some
Hey,
reason things don't. I'm just saying. That's all I got to say on
at
that. Now, we talked a little bit about
two,
rankings.
hold on real quick. I think with a team like LSU, if they're not doing big things, they're not going to keep a coach that's just having them on the sideline every year and missing playoffs, missing bowl games, missing chances at SEC championships. They're not going to keep a coach like that.
No, they need to be winning SEC championships. They need to
Yeah,
be title contending because in my lifetime, they've won two or three. I'm not that old. And they've won two or three here recently, too. At least two that I can think of recently. So, with that being said, yeah, it's time for LSU and Brian Kelly to step it up. They had a horrid defense when he showed up. Their offense is absolutely incredible. No one's denying that. They're going touchdown for touchdown with everybody. The problem is their defense couldn't stop anybody else from scoring touchdowns.
yeah.
So I think this year they got Harold Perkins Jr. He's going to be good. He was so good his freshman year. Sophomore year, junior year gets hurt. He's going to be, I'm looking for a big bounce back year. They got another linebacker who's really good as well. But rankings wise, um, the AP ones did drop. How you feel about those? We got Texas at number one.
I figured that would
Yeah, I know. Were we
that
really
was that was
surprised?
surprising at all.
No, not
Honestly,
surprised at all. Arch Manning's their quarterback. If you didn't know,
they have they have all, even though they have all the hype in the world, regardless of how much he played last season, they have all the hype this year.
yeah, they got a slew of great recruits. They got the Colin Simmons kid, I believe his name is, absolutely insane. Freshman last year. The only other kid in the nation as good as Dylan Stewart.
Okay.
So just to give you a little name drop there. But um Texas, yeah, no, we're not surprised. Not surprised at all. Now number two, Penn State. We're not surprised. I think
No, I'm surprised. I'm saying they don't belong at a number two spot.
no, they don't. I know why they're there. I know why. They've got a ton of talent. They do.
I could see maybe 6 or 7.
With the talent they have, there's no way they're not top five.
They had talent last year, but they didn't do anything with it. They made it to the playoffs. Cool.
I mean, they
They made it to
did.
the playoffs. Cool.
They almost. They did what I say that they do, Cam.
But
They just
what is that doing for them? That's not doing anything for them.
almost. This ranking might be the best thing that happens to Penn State. This is the biggest win that Penn State has had in the Penn State football program in years.
How long do you
This
think they stay at number two?
ranking. How long do I think they stay at number two?
Yep.
I think they'll jump to number one after Georgia probably beats Texas. No, I'm just playing. Um, I think that I think that they stay at number two for a considerably long time. I don't see them leaving the top seven all year.
Who are they playing week one?
Dude, I don't know Penn State's schedule off the top of my head, but I know that they'll play Oregon in the season. I know that they'll play Ohio State, and those two losses I can see
Well,
happening.
I'm gonna look it up and see who they play week one.
Please tell me. It could be Pennsylvania School of the Blind. I don't know. It could be anything.
Nevada.
Okay, well, they're not going to
Then
lose to
rank
Nevada.
Nevada. No, I'm saying you think that they will stay number two when you have games like Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson. I think if Clemson beats LSU, regardless of how they play Nevada, why would they stay number 2 over a team that's beating another top 10 team?
Dude, that's not how it works. Just because y'all, dude, no. Clemson's gonna have to walk LSU for them to jump up to go to number 2. Y'all can't just
We're only 2
scrape
spots
by.
in.
You can't. It doesn't matter.
You
Whenever you
act like
get in
we're
the
8.
top 3, just because you beat another. All right, if that's the case, then whenever an SEC opponent beats another SEC opponent and it's a top 5 battle every week almost, then they just deserve to be number 1, right? No, that's
I
not
didn't
how
say
it
number
works.
1. Anyways, moving on. Ohio State is 3rd.
Yeah,
Actually,
whatever.
realistically,
Duh.
if,
Of course they are. They
realistically,
just won the national
realistically,
championship.
pause. Realistically, back to my last statement. Realistically, if Ohio State loses to Texas, they won't drop out of the top 10. No, but if we beat LSU by a significant amount, there's no
If
reason.
Ohio State loses to Texas, they don't drop out of the top 5.
That's fair. That's fair. But they do drop. They drop
Yeah,
for
of
sure.
course they drop.
But
Barely.
with that being said, there's no reason that if we beat LSU by a significant amount, we don't jump Penn State.
By a significant amount. Keyword there, yes. Keywords. But by a significant amount. You weren't saying all that significant
I'm
stuff
saying
earlier.
at least 14 to 17 points.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking 14 to 21, and I'm going high on the 21. Two touchdowns ain't enough for 2 ranking spots.
Over Penn
It,
State, dude, beating
dude, Penn
Nevada?
State. All right, if Penn State struggles with Nevada, then yes, every right to go and move them down. But if they go out there and cakewalk Nevada like they're supposed to do, what else are they supposed to do, Cam? Go out there, oh, they won 50-60. They didn't beat them by 70. We don't know anything about Nevada's football team. We don't know if they're kind of good, if they're any good, if they're good, what they are. We know they're not Penn State, but we don't know much about them. So I can't sit here and tell you what they're supposed to win by and what they're supposed to, and what so and so is supposed to lose by, or if y'all beat this amount of team, it's just all too much speculation right now. But I'm telling you this, unless Clemson absolutely kicks LSU and Penn State fumbles the bag a little bit, and that means winning by just, a touchdown or two to Nevada, then there's no way that Clemson's going to overjump them in the rankings. I think both are going to have to happen, honestly. That's just how it's gonna. That's just how the rankings go. I'm not saying what's deserving. I'm saying how the rankings go.
I guess only time will tell. We're like a week and a half out. Find out.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens whenever you do these little preview things. But dude, continue on. Who's it? Yup, Clemson's at 4,
We are at 4.
and we already know that you don't feel greatly about that, and we know
Whoa, whoa,
where.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. I didn't say anything negative about being 4.
Well, where do you? We know where you think Clemson should be ranked.
I think if no, I think if after week 1 we should be higher than Penn State. Yes.
If we
If
if
we
you
if we
beat
win, yes.
If you beat the LSU tie. Okay. All right.
That's all I was saying. I feel like
Mhm.
after week 1, if they're going based on strength of games, we should jump them if we win.
Now, what do you think about Georgia sitting at 5?
Honestly, I hate to say it, but I think Georgia should have been above Clemson. I think we should have been swapped.
I could see that. I don't. I. It's kind of contradicting in itself because I think Clemson should just be where they are and Georgia should be where they're at.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But with that being said, it's because of the Klubnik experience, the TJ Parker experience. Y'all just have a lot of seasoned veterans that award winner nominee this, award winner nominee that. Um, it just really feels like, and then the wide receiving core. Oh my gosh,
I mean, yeah, we're typically
deep.
we were wide receiver U for a long time. We've been known to have amazing wide receivers for a while. It's been that way since Sammy came in, and it's kind of stuck on that way. That's what it's been. You can't say it hasn't. We've
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
but
here goes that
but,
normal Clemson.
but typically Georgia's deeper through and through, in my opinion.
I
Georgia can
would
put their
tend to
Georgia
think
can put their
just a little bit. Yeah, not
Georgia
about
can put their,
much.
Georgia can put their third string in, and he's not going to be much worse than their first string.
They are deeper. It's interesting how that plays out. It's just Clemson doesn't necessarily have to be as deep with their schedule.
You're not wrong, but that's
So
what I mean when I say I wouldn't have been mad if y'all were 4 and Clemson was 5. I'm
they
happy where
just
we are, but I'm not like I wouldn't have been like, oh, why is Georgia ahead of us? I would have looked at it like this,
it's
and
your key playmaker. Clemson's got potentially 2 or 3 guys that could go in the top 10 in the NFL draft.
no, for sure. Like
So
we have great talent. I just think depth wise,
yeah, depth wise, of course, but that's what I feel like gave Clemson that ranking.
that's fair.
Heisman front runner, or one of the front runners, Cade Klubnik. That's a good look.
Yeah,
Um, the Notre Dame right there at 6, sitting above LSU. LOL. Like they're legit, dude. Notre Dame's legit.
I want to say one. We have we got to 7 yet?
You said what?
Have we said who's in 7th yet?
No, we have not gotten to. I just mentioned Notre Dame, who is at 6. I've not mentioned
Oregon.
Oregon.
Oregon's 7th. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with Oregon too. I mean,
Now the wild
that's
one, dude. The wild one that like is mind blowing for me to see because it's been so long. Is who's at number 8?
I knew you were
Alabama.
gonna say this. Yes, it is.
It's wild, dude. It's
It
been like for
is.
the first time in over 10 years, they're not in the top 5.
Yeah,
Insane.
insane. And it's talking about it like it's so bad for them to be ranked 8th. And
8, but for the past decade
yeah,
and
I
a half,
know. I
they've been
know, dude. They have. They have. They've been on
down to
top
like
from
4th.
top. No, they haven't. They really have. It's been rare.
A
I mean,
long
I don't know.
time since
Yeah,
they've
it's
been
like, oh,
so
they
to
lose
see
3
them
games in a
starting the season,
season and don't
to
even
see them
get put at
starting the
8.
season at 8th is insane.
That means they're not respected like that because they've been ranked number 1 and they've lost 3 games in a season and made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So LSU at 9, we discussed that.
Now, how do you feel about Miami being number 10? You have a different perspective of Miami right now.
Dude, Miami, if they get the Carson back from 2 years ago, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be a good football team. They're gonna be a great football team. They
Let's get
are going to
your Carson
be.
back.
If they get last year's Carson back, Clemson walks away with the ACC easily. They don't even have anybody, you know, even compare. But with that being said, it's just
We went through the top 10. I mean, that being said, unless you have anything else to add,
no.
I think we're gonna call it a wrap on this episode. We'll come in probably around this time next week, get another episode in just before kickoff weekend, and then we'll absolutely have an immediate episode after kickoff
Oh,
weekend.
dude, we'll get it dialed up once football gets rolling. There's no question. There's no question.
But with that being said, thanks guys for coming back. We appreciate you. See you next time.
Watch this go.